I'm really excited to show you this. I'm really proud of it, and I can't stop looking at it because it's so cool. But I wanted to take you through this setup and show you what I've done because it's just so good. Let's do it. So what I'm going to show you here, this is a desk tour. I'm going to show you this, what I have set up with my desk here. But I wanted, before I do, I want to just talk for a second. I've never really been like known as or considered myself to be a super organized person. That's not really how I've identified myself. Not because I shouldn't have, but rather just because I've never really let that define me. So I've always sort of just been, well, I just need things to be easily accessible. I need to move quickly. So I'll grab things and then I'll put them wherever I put them. And if it happens to be someplace where I can find it again, then it happens to be so. But you would never walk into one of my rooms or my office and think going in, this is going to be super organized. Like, that's not something that I'm particularly known for. And by the way, I just have to say, if I keep looking down, it's because I'm still so excited about this whole thing. So I keep like looking at my setup because I'm super excited about it. But I digress. So what I want to do is kind of show you the setup, show you what I've done, and just kind of hopefully this, I don't know, this is kind of fun and exciting, and you might find it interesting. But also this represents like a change in me because I've always sort of thought of myself as like organized up here, but never here in the physical. And this is like a step into actually letting that part of me come out. And it's a good thing, you know, being more organized and just taking care of what's around me and sort of my surroundings and things. So we're going to do this little tour. I'm going to show you the setup and give you the rundown of all the different pieces. And it's going to be fun. So hopefully you will enjoy it. Now, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to use my handy dandy cell phone to do like the showing like this. So I have a cool little app that I'll show you, or not app, but I'm using OBS. And so we'll basically just switch to this. The audio will still come through correctly, but this is essentially going to be the beginning of the tour. So here we go. So this is, here's the main view, right? Here's my setup. We're going to go through all of these different pieces and talk about everything that we've got. I'll turn this one on just so you guys, just in case you don't have sensory overload just yet. And I apologize if there's a little bit of lag with the camera. It's using NDI, so it's not going to be perfect. So let's just go through each of these pieces. We'll start with the main monitor, which is this one here on the left. And actually, before I do that, I just want to point out, this is something that's really cool that I never really thought about, but I prefer to have my monitors actually below my eye line. So like this is right in front of my face. The camera's now right in front of my face. And you can see my main monitors are actually down below. They're down here, which is not something I ever thought that I would be excited about because like normally you sit back. Let me flip this camera around. Normally you like sit back. Here we go. You like sit back in your chair, right? I'm sitting back, I'm leaning back, and sometimes, sorry about my hand there. A lot of times I'm like lean back like this, so I'm like leaning in the chair. And so normally when you have it like that, you want to have monitors up so that you're looking. So it's like your eyes are looking up at them. But I actually prefer to be, and sorry for the hand again. Actually, this is kind of cool. I'm like peeking around my own hand. I actually prefer to be up and looking down at the everything, because I got a better vantage point, and I feel like I have better posture that way too, which is nice. And I apologize too. Apologizing a lot, but every time I like move the camera around too fast, it freaks out, and the OBS is thinking that I'm trying to switch the aspect ratio. Anyway, so let's go back through this. So my main monitor over here on the left, this is just a standard 16:9 aspect ratio monitor. I think it's 24 inches. I don't really know or care that much about it. This is the one where if I'm doing like a screen share, like from here, if I'm talking or whatever, and then I want to do a screen share, this is the screen that I'll show, right? So I can talk about this, I can show different things, then I can come back here, right? This is the main monitor because it's that same aspect ratio. I don't have to mess with it too much, which is really nice. So that's this monitor on the left. Now on the right, and right now I actually have OBS up, but normally I wouldn't. Normally OBS would just be sort of running in the background. Normally I'd have like a browser and maybe like OneNote open, but this is my ultra wide, and it's really nice because some websites that I visit, I need more space. So like for example, Asana is one where you can fill up a lot of additional space. So I'll just pull this over like that, and then I've got the extra. I can still have my notes on the one side and over here, and depending on what particular thing I'm working on, I've got that over here on the right. But I don't ever share this. This is kind of like my working space, right? So main monitor, secondary monitor. And then up here on the left, or sorry, on the right, this is actually a laptop that I have connected through using Windows has a wireless display thing. I don't even know what to call it, but I essentially have that connected to my main computer, which is back there, using a wireless display, and that's just program monitor. So I can see what I'm currently pushing out. I can see my main camera angle. I can see what my desktop looks like. I can see this camera angle, which is this one back here in the corner. I can see the phone, which is what I'm actually showing right now. That's why you see 3 of those. And then this one down here, I'm going to talk about in just a second. Plus, I see all my audio monitors. So I have a really good idea of like all of my different angles, all of my different stuff. One of the nice things about having a program monitor up like that is that I can check to make sure that my cameras are on before I flip to them, because I use this same setup in a lot of video calls that I do. So for example, if you look at this view right here, this is my piano back here in the corner. And this is the way that I can check to make sure that it's on before I flip to it. So I don't go here and then it's frozen. And I'm like, I got to go reset the camera. But rather I've just got it, I've got it right here so I can see everything. So that computer isn't really used for anything except for being a monitor of all my inputs and outputs, which is nice. And then over here, which is right directly underneath the camera, we'll talk about the camera in a second. This is my sort of like my straight on monitor. So like right now I'm recording a video. So I have the program out that's showing me what's here, which is basically the same as these two. So I actually see what I'm showing like 3 times, 1, 2, 3. But I like having it here because in case I'm like recording a Loom video or whatever else, like I've got it right. This is nice because I have all the different angles, but this is nice because it's directly where it needs to be, right? So like, for example, I can't show this to you on the phone because unfortunately it'll switch the angles. But when I am normally recording a video, I'll just have my main view showing up right here so I can see that. And then also, if I happen to be like on a Teams call or something with one of my colleagues, then what I'll do is I'll actually put the Teams call itself up on this monitor like this. And then that's who I'm talking to. So I'm looking just right below the camera when I'm actually talking to people. I'll put their faces up there. I usually don't do the text because you can see it's super tiny. But then otherwise, I'll just have this out there so I can always see what what's actually being output, right? Then down here, I've got a tablet. This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 that I use just for additional things. Like if I wanted to do like drawing screen share type thing, I can grab this like this and put a camera on top. If I want to watch a video while I'm working, I can do that all right here. I can also connect to the camera and mess with focus and focus, rack focus and things like that. I can do all sorts of things from here. And then also, it's just nice to have another screen. I just like having additional screens, which is really fun. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention is when you have, so this is one of the things about OBS. If you have like the program out feed like this, the multi-view, you actually can click on the particular screen, you can see my mouse moving here. I can click on it and it will switch to it. So you see that now what you see is me, but essentially I can click on it. Now the problem is if I have this right above my main workstation, which is this one here, I could very easily just like accidentally like move my mouse up there and click on it. What I've done, and I'll show you guys this, is I've actually created some space in the display. So you can see that there. So I don't actually, if I go up, it doesn't actually go up there. I can get to it by going around this way. I got to go through the monitor and then over to here. I can actually get there. But that just keeps it from, just a nifty little trick that I was kind of proud of that I figured out for that. The camera back there is a Canon 90D. The lens is a Sigma 18-35. If you're a gear junkie, then you'll know that those are both cool. This is probably my, this is so crazy, but this is probably my favorite part of my whole setup. This is like a $25-$30 USB powered dynamic microphone that I got off Amazon. You can't actually buy it anymore. They don't sell them, but this thing is just excellent. Now you probably, let me get all real with you for a second. If you're an audiophile, you can tell that this isn't like the greatest microphone ever, but like I had 3 or 4 of the Shure SM7Bs. Those are great microphones, but honestly, you can't really tell the difference between this and that. You kind of can if you know what you're listening for, but at the end of the day, like we're talking about moving the needle a little bit versus moving the needle a lot. And this to that doesn't move the needle a lot for what I use it for, which is video calls and for stuff like this for YouTube. Doesn't really matter. Now this up here is a GVM. Let's see if I can get the thing on there. Yeah, GVM. It's upside down, obviously. 60 watt, I think, light back there, and I have it right over the camera, which is fun. And then down here on my left, this is another really cool part, is the Loop Deck Live. So I've got all my scenes that I can switch from. Ooh, I switched on accident. That's what happens. It's really sensitive. So I can switch between my different scenes, and then I can also mess with my audio, right? So I can go here, and if I needed to turn my mic down, I can turn my mic down. And actually, I'll show it to you this way. So I can keep talking, and then I can turn it back on, and you can hear me now, right? So that basically I can control it all from right here. And then I also have, I can change the scene transition. So I can go from like a cut to a move transition, which is kind of cool because, for example, when I'm here, a lot of times I'll do video recordings, or we'll do a video screen share. And I like this cool little transition between this view and my screen share. So it moves instead of just cutting, and then it moves back. But I can use basically this piece right here, this guy right here. I can change between that and like a cut. So I can cut to this and then back, or I can go to a fade. You guys can't see that it's changing. I'm basically controlling this part of OBS right here, right? Just using that knob. So we'll keep it at that fade, which is really cool. And then I can also control like my volume for the computer. I can also control Spotify. And then I can make the transition take longer. So if I want it to be a slow fade, I can do that. Then I also have these cool things where I can add sound effects in, so like drum roll, please. Right, that's kind of cool. And then I have some other sound effects that I can do. Now, one thing that's super cool, these other ones are not that important. I can lock my computer and then I can turn OBS on in case it's not on. But this one right here, I just love this so much. I do a lot of video calls. I record a lot of videos for my team, screen shares, and like just showing and explaining things. And one of the things that bothers me the most is how much time it takes me to go from I need to record a video to having a video recorded. And so I actually had a system set up where I was just recording straight in OBS, and then I would upload the video. And that was a little bit quicker than like opening Loom and then making sure that everything was connected correctly and then going. But this is what I discovered. This is not like groundbreaking necessarily, but you know, like you when you have the setup, and you know, like you see that there are shortcuts in Loom, you realize that like you can. There's so many cool things that you can do. Okay, I got a food order coming in a second, so we may have to pause this video and go get the food and then come back. But we'll get to that in just a second. So anyway, what I can do here is if I we'll go back to my phone. If I click this icon right here, this basically is the shortcut to start recording a video. See that? So it opened the thing here and it's actually started recording, and it's just going to record my my camera, right? So it's already recording straight up, and then I just push the button again. Beep. Oops, that's the wrong one. Push this one again, and it stops the recording and then opens it up here. So literally from nothing to recording to I have the link to share, click, click, click. Like super straightforward and awesome. So that's super exciting. Now, this is for you. What's about to happen is going to seem like strange because it's going to be like, I'm going to take a second, go find the food, and then it's going to just continue because I'm just going to pause the video. So I guess you could pause it if you want to wait for 5 minutes and see that part of it. Otherwise, I'll be back in 1 second. Check to make sure it's actually recording. So I guess I'll take this time to shout out our sponsor. I wish that Buffalo Wild Wings was sponsoring. Actually, no, it's not Buffalo Wild Wings. It's Uber Eats. I can't tell you how awesome it is that like you just put it on your phone and then food shows up. It's so cool. I guess it's the same thing as food delivery, but there's just so much. It's just so convenient and easy. Anyway, what I was showing you was I was showing you the Loom feature, which is really cool. And what I want to show you now is probably like there's a lot about this that I keep saying is like my favorite part, but I think this really is my favorite part because and I gotta get my phone back on the right network every single time. I'm sure there's a way to just have it prefer the other network, but I never think to do it until I'm in the middle of recording a video and I'm this far into it, so I'm not gonna stop now. Anyway, so like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I never really considered myself to be a super organized person in like the physical. Like I feel like I'm organized in my head, but not in my surroundings, in my environment. And this has completely changed that. It was like I was giving myself permission to be that type of person, like a more organized person. And now this is the first time this is the first time this has ever happened where I've gone more than 2 days and actually like put everything away, like in a place. Like normally there are just things strewn all across my desk. And now all that's on my desk is the stuff that's supposed to be on my desk, which is keyboard, mouse, loop deck. Right? There's literally nothing else. In fact, these monitors aren't even on my desk. The monitors aren't even like standing on the desk. These monitors are all mounted to things in the back, which I'm going to show you in a second. But the rest of the office too, literally not 36 hours ago, this place looked like a bomb had gone off in it. There was just stuff everywhere on the ground. I had to walk carefully. I could hardly open the door because I just had like camera parts and like rig setups and batteries and cables. And I mean, just everywhere. Now, I will say we're not out of the woods yet. I'm going to show you a couple of things that are not like pristine, so to speak. But you kind of get an idea. So what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm actually going to mute that mic so we can get audio coming from here because I'm actually going to do like a little tour kind of thing. So anyway, the office itself normally has just stuff everywhere, but it's actually like surprisingly organized. I got some camera stuff over here that doesn't really have another place. But that's essentially where it goes. In fact, the only thing in this entire office that's still out of place is this. And it's because it goes in the other room and I haven't been out there yet. But everything else is like in its place. Like this isn't super well organized, but like stuff goes here. And then I have pens here. And like this isn't incredibly organized. That's one on my list, but it's not on the ground, which is really important. And this part right here, I'm actually glad that Panda came in for this. Because a huge part of the reason why I wanted to set this up this way is because those dogs, Panda, come here, come show. Not going to show. They like to hang out down here. And the worst part about dogs hanging out down here is cables hanging down that they could step on or trip over, and then the whole system comes down, right? The whole system. But this way, they can actually sit back there, and there's a ton of space back there. Like, this is a whole, like both of them could fit back here, and they love to go back there. But I'm not nervous, or there's no danger of them tripping over a cable anywhere. Now out of the weeds yet because we got some some cable situations that I still got to figure out over here. But it's just amazing the difference. And then I want to show you back here kind of the way this was done. This is inspired by DSLR video shooter Caleb something or other. I forget his last name. Sorry, Caleb, if you're watching this. If you're watching this, first of all, you got other things to do. Go do other things. Don't watch this. Hang on. Let me see. So the idea here is I just basically mounted these 2x4s, and then I have everything mounted to the 2x4s that are mounted to the wall. So I've got the mic stand, I've got the light stand, I've got 2 arms over there that are connected to the monitors and the camera, and everything else is just sort of connected, but I've got it all set so that nothing hangs down below the 2x4s themselves, which is... Let's try that again. So I forgot that I turned this mic off. So anyway, I will cut all of that out. You won't have seen, I'll just fast forward through it. But yeah, so the what I sort of wanted to end on is this idea that now that I've taken the time to set this up and to like create a system that I really, really like and a system that's going to keep me organized and that actually is organized, now something flipped in my brain. And now I feel like I can just be organized. I feel like if I have something that makes it to my desk that doesn't belong on my desk, I deal with it and then put it where it goes. Or if I have something, like I kid you not, this has never happened to me. But I had to go get some Allen wrenches to mess with the height of some of these things. And they're sitting back in one of these drawers. And that's not their ultimate final resting place, but it happens to be where they are now. And I did my adjustments and I stuck them on the desk, and I did some more adjustments and I stuck them on the desk, and I did some more adjustments. And when I felt like I was done, I went back and put them where they're supposed to go. So they're not just everywhere. They're done. They're put away. And it's just like, it's just so amazing that like I can actually be that, you know what I mean? And I don't have to live in disarray. And the really cool thing is that I'm excited for like the rest of the stuff. Like I want to order a bunch of those little drawer thingies so I can organize all my cables. Because man, if I showed you, I'm not even going to show you the office or the closet because it's a situation. Let's put it that way. But anyway, I guess the point of this is, one, check out my cool desk setup. Give me kudos, give me thumbs up, send me comments, make me feel good about my decisions. But 2, you can be what you don't think that you can be. Sometimes you're just a decision, like giving yourself permission is the only thing that's holding you back. And since I gave myself permission, now I'm one of these people, which is really fun. So if you're still watching this video, first of all, I applaud you because you should have left minutes ago. But the other thing that I wanted to show you is I have this thing set up with the camera where I'm actually pushing over the EOS webcam utility over USB and the HDMI out. So what it allows me to do is switch between this view, which is the clean view with all like the post-production, like the filters and the LUTs and everything applied to the image, to this, which is just the straight HDMI feed, right? So I can show the settings that I've got going on here. I can show I'm doing 30 frames per second, 1.8 aperture, ISO 100. I can show, you know, my auto white balance settings and all that kind of stuff. And then I can just fade back into the actual feed, which is really cool. So I was really excited about that. You may not have been, you may not care, but I thought it was really fun. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I got.